Welcome to a very special episode of Influence with Jordan Elliott. Everyone knows Joe Exotic from the 2020 Netflix docuseries The Tiger King, where the eccentric businessman ran an exotic animal park. He instantly became a media sensation, but as you may remember, Joe was later convicted of two murder for hire plots against his longtime rival, Big Cat Rescue founder Carole Baskin. Joe claims that he was completely set up, but prosecutors were able to prove that Joe was guilty through FBI testimony and recordings. He was also convicted of unlawfully killing 5 tigers. Joe still claims that they were humanly euthanized, and I was able to speak with Joe from the Federal Medical Center in Fort Worth, Texas, where he is currently serving a 21-year sentence. Here's some of our conversation.
I saw a tiger, now I understand. I saw a tiger.
Welcome to another episode of Influence with Jordan Elliott. We are sitting down with the star of Netflix's Tiger King himself, Joe Exotic. Joe, I have to start out by thanking you. I actually won a costume contest when I was a senior in high school because I dressed up as you. You have such an iconic look. How are you feeling right now?
It's prison, and my prostate cancer is out of remission, so I'm dealing with that, and I got lung cancer in my left lung, and I still get blood transfusions every month, so I'm just praying to God that President Trump and Alice Johnson looks at my case and sees that I don't belong here and lets me out of here before I die in here.
Wow, I'm so sorry to hear that. My only experience with prisons has been from TV and movies. What does a day in your life look like right now?
It's definitely not like the movies. It's far from that, and that's why one of my goals when I make it out of here is to testify in front of Congress about what really goes on in here. But, I spend most of my day, I spend 7 hours of my day outside at recreation. And, I'm in a medical center in Fort Worth, Texas, so a lot of people, think that, they put Joe in a cage. I'm in a prison that's kind of like a college campus, really. There's no doors, there's no bars. We live in dorms. I live in a dorm with 9 other people. And, it's actually pretty boring. There's just not a lot to do in here unless you go out to rec and work out and spend the day at rec. And that's what I do most of the time, other than sitting in there watching grown men drool like 2-year-olds from smoking K2 all day long.
Has there ever been a moment where you felt unsafe in prison?
Never. And I've been in isolation with one of the head members of the Sinaloa cartel. I was over in Butner, North Carolina, at the prison hospital with the Unabomber. I've never felt threatened.
Interesting. What is the food like in there? I have to wonder because I've heard so many different things about prison food throughout the years. Is there like a favorite meal among the inmates?
Back in the day, there might have been, but and nowadays the food is just it's pathetic. A lot of it is expired. The amounts that they give you, I don't see how a 250, 300-pound man survives on this. That's probably why they make just this prison alone probably takes in over $250,000 in commissary a month. The Bureau of Prisons needs a director that's going to overhaul this. They're short of staff. What staff is here is working overtime. Some of these guys, you never see them go home because they're so short of staff. And the medical quality of care is just grossly under par. It needs to be vamped. Jordan, what needs to happen is there's so many people in here that don't need to be here. Trump had mentioned one time during his campaign that if you could qualify to go to a camp, if you have points and you have a nonviolent crime and you qualify to go to a camp, I agree with what he said. He just needs to get off his butt and do it, and that's send everybody home on home confinement so you can work and pay your own way. Because the taxpayers are probably paying for an extra, I would say, 40,000 people to be in prison that shouldn't be.
Wow. I can't imagine that. Do you guys ever have any access to the internet, access to TV?
We have TVs from 6 in the morning until 11 o'clock at night, so I stay up with the news and everything. This particular prison doesn't have access to anything. Over in a few other federal prisons, they have text messaging on your tablets and video visits and stuff like that. County jail, that's what is beside me, and that's why Congress needs to be woken up. A county jail is so far advanced than the federal prison system is. I would rather be in a county jail. Everything's about making money, but you have a little more luxury than federal prison. Federal prison, you think Guantanamo Bay is bad? Come to an American federal prison in America.
Wow. Wow. Do you ever get to have any visitors there? Is there anyone who particularly visits you?
You know, I don't have any family. My parents have both died since I've been here. I have 3 female friends that used to come to the zoo a lot. They come and see me, but other than that, that's it. I've only seen 3 people in 7 years.
Wow, that's really unfortunate. I'm sorry about that. Joe, I heard that you found love in prison. Can we hear a little bit about that?
Well, I mean, yeah, he's 33 years old. His name is George. In Spanish, it's Jorge. He's an illegal immigrant. Actually, he gets deported tomorrow morning. He's going to be in Mexico, and I'm going to be here until I figure out a way to get out of here. And then I got to decide whether or not I'm going to be staying in America and try and get him back in America, or if I'm going to leave and go to Mexico. But pretty crazy where you meet people. But, you know, he's amazing. He really is.
That's very unfortunate. You said that he's getting deported tomorrow?
Tomorrow morning.
Wow. Wow. Is this because of President Trump's new stricter immigration policies?
No, his time is actually up, and he's illegal, so he's got to go back until we can get his paperwork done the right way and bring him back over. Unless I can get $5 million to buy him a gold green Visa card. Trump is selling green cards for $5 million, you know, so that's pretty crazy. It kind of tells you what America is all about, isn't it?
Yeah. Speaking of Trump, during his first term, the president said that he would take a look at your case when asked about pardoning you. Have you heard anything from President Trump since?
I have not. You know, I still hear Don Jr. Puts things out on the internet from time to time. We don't know why he overlooked me, whether it was January 6th that happened and just everything turned into a big mess. People like Sean Hannity was even expecting me to be pardoned because he said I was on the list. Right now, you know, I've got some pretty big names out there shooting for being my voice. You know, I got Joe Rogan, Dana White, Andrew Tate, former Congressman Matt Gaetz, Congresswoman Lauren Boebert, George Santos, Hulk Hogan. I got some pretty big voices out there, so I'm holding out hope that Alice Marie Johnson, the new pardon czar, actually looks at the video evidence that's on my website, JoeExoticOfficial.com, on the evidence link, and sees where on season 2 of Tiger King, you know, the Hitman and Jeff and Lauren and James, they all admitted to perjury on world television. The hitman, Alan Glover, went one step further and took the film people and my attorneys to the zoo and showed them in the woods behind the trailer he lived at where he hid a murder weapon, where they were actually going to kill me and put me in prison didn't work. And I don't understand why I'm still here. I just wish I could get President Trump to take 2 minutes out of his day and assign somebody to look at this evidence and let me go home.
Joe, I feel like we need to remind our audience, for those who are unaware, that you were convicted of 2 murder-for-hire plots to kill your longtime rival, Big Cat Rescue founder Carole Baskin. One of them allegedly involved your coworker Alan Glover, but the other was with an undercover FBI agent. That seems pretty hard to refute. Why should people believe that you're innocent?
Well, I mean, they have nothing. The undercover FBI agent, they have nothing because I didn't hire him. I didn't offer to hire him. I didn't give him anything. I knew something was up. I went along with their little story, but I never crossed that fine line. And if you look at the evidence now, all of the video depositions that they have done since then, and turned over their phones. I don't know if you keep up with my attorney, John Phillips, on YouTube, but they turned over their phones, and he recovered 700 phone recordings and videos and text messages where the federal agents knew that this was all lie, that they actually paid their witnesses to lie under oath in order to pull this off. It's there. I didn't do anything wrong. Alan Glover admits that he lied about me giving him a cell phone, about me giving him $3,000. It was all a lie.
How do you feel about Carole Baskin now? Is there an update to your feelings on her?
First of all, people need to understand, I didn't film for Tiger King. I was in jail 2 years before Tiger King was even filmed. They took all of my videos off of YouTube and out of my computers in order to do what they did with me on Tiger King. They exaggerated me and Carole's feud extensively because Carole made money convincing her people that I abused baby tigers by pulling them away from their mom and letting you pet them. Okay, that's how she made her money. I made my money on my online television show, JoeExoticTV.com, which everything was scripted by the famous Rick Kirkham, who since then has fled to the Netherlands. And I made money convincing people that she was crazy and she killed her husband. Okay, that's how I got my followers. Until my trial, I never saw Carole Baskin. I've never seen her face to face until my trial.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was nothing but she made money off of me and I made money off of her. As far as ever seeing each other in public, never. As an ex-police chief, did I investigate her scams? Absolutely. That woman is the biggest scammer there ever was, and I've got videos on my YouTube channel where I went to the sheriff's office and filed felony fraud charges on her, 60 counts of felony fraud charges on her. Now, since then, she's pawned her animals all off on another sanctuary in Arkansas. She sold all of her nonprofits for $19.5 million, and Carole got what Carole wanted, and that was money.
Wow.
But Jordan, I would like to thank you for having me on, giving me a voice and a platform. Have all your listeners go to JoeExoticOfficial.com and look at the evidence link, and you're going to be shocked. There's over 1,000 pages there of evidence proving that I'm innocent. And Get on social media everywhere Trump makes a post and put free Joe Exotic. That's the best thing you can do for me.
Once again, thank you so much to Joe Exotic for coming on the show and telling his side of the story. This has been Influence with Jordan Elliott. I'll see you next time.